Did you come here to succeed, or did you come here to fail? If you came here to fail, then you are in the right place, because we are experts at failure. Dear fellow Toastmasters, for sure, we have a lot of success here on our stage, but we also fail a lot. We talk too quickly, too slowly, or too quietly. We mess up on our pronunciation, our structure, or our eye contact. We forget our audience, we forget our jokes, and we forget our jokes. But that's okay. We are free to fail. I want to talk about failure today because we don't talk enough about failure. If you want to buy a book on success, you can go on Amazon and choose between 250,000 different books about success. But on the topic of failure, not even 10% of that number. Heck, there are more books about knitting than there are about failure. But knitting is not going to take us to the top. What's going to take us to the top is if we learn how to fail well. And it's in this context that I want to talk about my boss. Because nobody knows more about my failures than my boss. Many years ago, I was recruited into a prestigious management consulting firm in Stockholm. And I was fairly fresh out of university, but I came in and I said, I want to have my own clients. I want to manage my own projects. I am ready to deliver. And before long, I did get my first client. And let me tell you about this client. This was a very cool technology firm based in Silicon Valley. It was exactly the kind of client that I wanted to be seen with. Now, my area of expertise is compensation consulting. And this firm, they did have a compensation policy. Only problem was that it was so bad, that policy, that we used to use it as an example at our trainings on how not to draft a compensation policy. And it was my task to bring it into line with best practice. I poured my heart and soul into this finely crafted proposal and sent it off to the client. 2 days later, nothing happened. A week, nothing. 2 weeks, no response. The client did not answer my emails. They didn't pick up the phone when I called. Soon it was very clear that I had lost the project. I had lost the client. And I had failed. Around this time, my boss comes and talks to me. And he says, I think it's time for us to have a little chat about your future in our company. He sits me down and he says, Markus, I think you have the potential of advancing faster in your career than your peers. What? I had just failed spectacularly, and he's talking about my career prospects. But he explained it to me. He said that, yes, you lost your first and only client, but out of all the people at your level, you're the only one who even had your own clients to manage and to lose. You had insisted on it, and you had shown that you were willing to risk failure in order to be successful. And in my team, you are free to fail. Then he went on to explain his philosophy that guided his decision-making. And he said that we have to get rid of this culture of failure avoidance. We need to be able to take risks without the fear of failure. Yes, every now and again we're going to fail, but the important thing is to fail quickly and move on to something more productive. This is the only way that we're going to be able to push the envelope, develop innovative services, and ultimately be more successful. Ever since that conversation 8 years ago, I've been practicing what he taught me. This means I've failed a lot since then. Most recently, as some of you know, last year, I lost my job. Losing a job was actually not the big problem. The big problem was having to tell my parents about it. And I couldn't even do it over Skype. So I flew over to Gothenburg, Sweden. I sat them down at the dinner table and I told them what had happened. My dad asks, "So, do you need a place to stay?" And my mom says, "Great. Now all 3 of my children are unemployed." I had just failed spectacularly, and all I get is a helping hand and a sarcastic comment. I think I'm learning to fail well. So now let's go back to the question at the top. Did you come here to succeed, or did you come here to fail? Well, the truth is, you don't have to choose. Because it's only when we're free to fail that we're truly free to succeed. Madam Compass Chair.